Welcome back, everybody. This is Dren608 Plays. In my last stream for Nórë Huinë, I think I hit a mute button or something on my recording stuff, and my mic went silent. So from this point on, you see my mouth moving, but you don't hear anything. So I'm going to try to take that last hour, hour and a half, and just voice over. There goes alarms that shouldn't be on. And just kind of voice over what I was doing so you have some idea of what I was saying at the time. So let's see how this works. This will be posted up as a separate video. I'll put a link in the stream so that you can come and hear this part, okay? So Shadowheart had just missed, and I had gotten very, very funny reaction. And then I finished off the Spectator here with, I think it was Nórë Huinë and Gale. Made sure I stunned it again. And double hit it. Then I hit it once more. Didn't want to use any key points. So it's down to just a handful of 3 points, so he's guaranteed of taking it out. Then I went around and my youngest Ace taught me this. I just go around and beat up all the Petrified Drow and get rid of the explosive things. And she was too close. Okay, I've cleared out the explosive things, I think. Yep, there we go. And then I go and beat up all of the Petrified Drow to take their stuff. And that's me kind of discussing whether I should or not, and I just decided that I would go ahead and do it. Because I don't have my Hill Giant Strength Potion on, this takes quite a while to do. So, I was trying to figure out who was what. Because they won't give you their names until you take them apart. So that's my character talking there. I go and grab the gold and the dragon rug mushroom. And then finally decided that I needed to just take these things out here.
May the gods take you first.
And unfortunately, it takes a very long time here. I know there's a shortcut key to do the attack, but I can't remember what it is. So I have to keep doing it that way. And then we grab the stuff. I think at some point here I get tired of this and I have Karlach do it. Yeah, so I'm still trying to take down the statues and not getting very far. And then I joke about missing a statue. So I'm not doing very well there. 75% chance to hit a stationary target. That's a little bizarre to me. And I finally decide I'm going to use Karlach, and I think I change her weapon. Yep, I change her into the Maul and have her go work on these things. And even she's missing. Actually, I'm not clicking on the guy. It takes me a little bit to figure out that I'm not clicking on the guy. Forgot to actually loot the Spectator. And this turns out to be the one that I was really trying to find. Because he's got all the good stuff on him. He's got the magic item, and this shard, and the icy helve. And then I missed this guy back here altogether. There's one more there that I missed. That I don't go back and get. And there we go. I think it's one more hit, maybe two. Yeah, it's two more hits. And let me just take that stuff. Then I think I looked around. It's like there's something to grab down there, but there was an explosive thing up there that I wanted to get rid of. Because I've actually been through most of this area. Then we're going to go back down here. Oh, actually, I guess I go up. I thought about going in there. I'm like, wait a minute, I've already been in there. So I had been already through the Selûnite outpost. So I decided to go back the other way. Just have us travel down there. I saw that alchemist fire and something over there that I needed to get rid of. But I believe I missed a couple of the Petrified Drow. Which, seeing that now on video, I will probably go back and get. And I just have her go grab the things. I missed the Chasm Creeper over there too, I think. Yeah, I did. Okay, and so I head out now. Now we should be getting to about the point in the chapter marks that's saying that I'm going to head back towards the tower. The chapter marks of the video. So we're heading back to the tower. Just takes everybody a long time to get down that thing. And we head off to the tower. And right before I get to the tower, I switched her back to her weapon there. Still moving up towards the tower. There we go. I have to talking about getting myself up to the tower and getting prepared to do something. I'm going to be doing some shenanigans here at the tower, which is, if you haven't figured out this yet, it's very interesting in that you get exactly the right number of Sussur Flowers that you need to do this. So I stop here, and I separate out, and I take myself back to camp. And I'm going to pick up the Sussur Flowers. There we go. And just grab the Sussur Flowers. And I come back to the party. I basically tell them to wait here. Okay, I need to go. Alright, so this is something that I found out in my Gale playthrough. I tried it and it worked. So now I'm going to be doing this in every playthrough going forward. First I go grab more toadstools.
Maybe I need more pockets.
Seen that I missed a couple things up by the Spectator, so when I get out of the tower in my next stream, I'm actually going to go back over there. So I come up here.
Scorched ground. Better watch out.
So I notice the Scorched Round, and then I'm turned into turn-based mode, and I have an anti-magic field going. So I turn on my my monk's dash thing, which lets me jump for free. And now you're going to see me jumping around like a monkey. So I just go jump. And we're going to just keep jumping right up to the turret before it can fire. And I somehow knocked my split this out. We drop one here. Then we pick it up and move it over here. That turns it off. And we get an inspiration out of it from Gale. And then I have to keep jumping again. I took the jump off my bar because I had it unlocked. I don't know how to get it back. So if you're watching this little video, maybe you can tell me how I get the jump icon back on my bar. Is there a way to like reset it or something? Because I can't figure out how to do it. Which is very, very annoying. I know I can just do it with the letter Z, but then I have to remember that I have to use the letter Z. And now I have to drop the other one. And I go ahead and drop both of them here because I'm not going to need them for what I'm going to do going forward. There we are. And then I walk away to make sure that it's turned off, and it is. And I get out of that, and then they both shut down. So you don't have to worry about them shooting you. And then I go get the party together. We go do a little bit of looting. What little bit is out here? At some point I'll get the party back together. And then I just run around here and loot the outside, leaving the Sussur blooms, the Sussur flowers out there. I clicked too quickly, so I'm going to have to go back and get that bullywug trumpet. You get 80 experience points for going up where I was going. Thought there was something inside the rib cage, but it turns out that it's just a rib cage, and I'm like, oh no, I don't need that. So we'll just dump that. Thank you very much. And now I'm going down here just to find stuff like that. Then I go up over here in the corner. There's some stuff to pick up. There we go. Up the hill here a little bit, up to here, and then you'll find bits and pieces. So I look at what I'm going to be picking up, and I go, girlfriend. I have her. Because that's all worth money. There's nothing else really here except for the chest and the letter.
I've got a long road ahead.
So I pick up the letter. Do I read it right away, or do I go? I think I go do the chest first. Don't have a key, so I have to lockpick it.
Can't keep me out.
One of the tougher ones. And we got it on the first shot. And it's got a throwable magical light hammer and some silver ingots, which are worth money. So I think I give these all to Karlach. I discuss on, taking a drink right now. Then I discuss whether I really want to be carrying that around and who should probably have it. It's like, that's definitely going to go to Karlach. And I thought about this, and I was like, I ended up giving it to Karlach because it's a magic hammer that she can throw. That's what I'm talking about there. Okay, now if I can ever get out of this. That's me talking about why I give it to Karlach. Because she can throw it. And then also discuss the fact that the maul and that hammer would probably go to Lae'zel when I bring her in as the main fighter of the party, which I'll be doing at some point. Because she would benefit from it from the same way. And now I go over here. I'm going to set up for the shenanigans. This is something I found out works. I stopped here because I knew there was something over here and I found it. So we dig this up first. There's a little bit of stuff in here. I don't think it's that earth-shattering. Scroll of Fly, club, and gold. Now you could use the Scroll of Fly to do this as well for what I'm going to be doing. I think that's why it's there, to give you the idea that you could just like fly to these various mushroom growths. I think that was the idea they were trying to put into your head. But I went a little bit different. So I had to make sure I got everybody out of the range of the Sussur Flower. And then Gale had a Scroll of Featherfall somewhere. So I had him read that. He featherfalled all of us. And then I tried to jump and realized that I didn't have... it was too far away for me to jump. So then I had to drink a potion. So I went into turn-based mode so I could find the potion. It took me a little while to find it, but I do have a potion of vaulting. I didn't want to waste the hill giant strength because I knew I wasn't going to have to do any fighting. And potions of vaulting are a little bit easier to come by. So I went ahead and drank that. Here we go. Maybe. That's me talking about, am I going to have trouble with other people getting there? But I went ahead and drank it. I was going to wait to see if Gale needed it too. Then I tried to do my jump again. Oh yeah, because I drank, so I had to get out of turn-based mode. And I was able to jump. And just keep jumping. And then you have to jump down here. And you just got to jump quickly. You just jump, jump, jump. And then you want to jump down to here, and now you're on the floor where you need to be. You get to see the hole here. I think I have a potion of gaseous form, which you could use to just go in here and open the door. And that's what I'm talking about. But it's like, I'm like, I don't think I need to do that. Because I think I only had I had one scroll of it, and I wanted Gale to be able to learn it. So I was like, don't really. Looked for a potion of gaseous form, and I didn't see it. So that's me looking for the potions of gaseous form. Then I went and looked for a scroll. Okay, so I couldn't find it there, so I went and looked for scrolls now. And I find a scroll of gaseous form in somebody's thing. So I only had one scroll of gaseous form, and I decided I wanted him to be able to learn that spell rather than using it up here just to open up a door. So we just move on down here. I'm going to loot up a bunch of stuff, grab a couple Sussur Flowers, and then first thing I do, I think, is I unlock the door. I lockpick the door. Again, it's kind of a hard one, but we make it. So the door is now unlocked, so I don't have to worry about that. Now I think I just go grab everything. There's a few ingredients floating around here that I need to go get before I go to the Sussur tree. I think Bone Cap is just and I'm also trying to make sure that I clear out as much of the map as I can. There's a Bullywug Trumpet up here. I think there's a blue cap down here. So it kind of lets you clear out a bunch of the map. Then I come up here and I'm going to go ahead and check out these. I'm pretty sure these are empty, but I check them anyway. Yeah, they're all empty. I don't want to open the door yet. I want to go do this, and then I think I stop everybody. Or no, I bring them along with me. Okay. We did find a buried treasure, which Gale gets in the way of me being able to see it. It's funny how there's a shovel right by the buried treasure. Some ingredients and a scroll and some money. Another shovel, which I go ahead and pick up. And then there's another flower I have to grab. Just there. I'm just trying to check to make sure I haven't missed anything. And now I think I'm talking about the fact that you'll have a grand total of 5 flowers while I'm checking on things. You need 1 to turn on the machine, which shuts off all the turrets. But that leaves you with 4, and there are 4 automations up with Bernard that you can use to disable them. And then I go up here. I don't know. I think I check a couple things along the way, but more ingredients. Then I go over here and I go ahead and That's the other side of the hole, which we already knew about. We go to here, and I'm going to split those. You have to put one of the flowers in there. You say combine, and then you get a cutscene where it turns on all the lights. So we get to watch the cutscene. All the pretty blue flames go on throughout the tower. The elevator activates. Turrets turn off, even though they're powered, and then all these lanterns all around the tower's edge goes off. And it shows you how many levels you've got. It's like 3 levels in the top. And then it shows you sort of what it looks like from the outside, and you're like, yay. Then I think I go and send back the Sussur Flower. Send that back to camp, because I don't need it right now. These are worth a gold piece apiece or something like that, so I pick them up. Then I go looting with Karlach. And this is all just me running around looting, making sure I've grabbed everything. I think I go around the inside first, and then I start heading. I go back to the corner over here. There's things to pick up. I'm just having Karlach pick them up for me. We'll straighten out our pouches offline, I think is what I'm talking about. And it's just like I'm just having to grab things. And I think I ever actually grabbed the cauldron. I have her grab the cauldron because my thought was I'd really like to see her throw the cauldron at something and see what kind of damage it does. And I talked about maybe loading her up with like a whole bunch of cauldrons and cooking pans and stuff like that, and just have her in one combat just stand there and fling, rage and just start flinging things at everybody, just for kicks, just to see what it's like. So I'm planning on trying to do that in the future. That's me talking about doing all that. I also there's a stool around here somewhere that I'm supposed to have found that I didn't find. I read this. I don't think I really read this out. I think I just kind of leave it up there for everybody to take a look at. There we go. And I picked that up. Just checking on everything. We've read Death and Resurrection, so these are being picked up to sell. Okay. And I think I go up the stairs next. I don't know if I was looking around to see if there's like loose plates and bowls and stuff. Then I have to go over this way. Just looking for everything I can possibly pick up. And I think I pick up a crate. Because that always come in handy when you run into vent traps. You can just put crates and barrels on top of them. And I picked that up before I opened it. So I'm an idiot. I'm like, what's actually in it? Was a book. Fringe philosophy is something I can sell. So there's some things over here, but I don't think there's anything worthwhile. Like rotten cheese, no thank you. This burlap sack. Rotten cheese. Said no thank you. I think now I went up the stairs, maybe? Yeah. So now I go up to the stairs to where the last elevator level looks to be. Come up the stairs. And there's not a lot here, but I check anyway because some potions. She was very untidy. Lenora was very untidy. And I decide that I'm going to turn on the lights. I always like to do that in this tower for some reason. I don't know why. I don't do it everywhere, but I do it in this tower. Oh, that was rotten food. Those were shoes. Shoes are worth money. There's a box with some ingredients, and I pick up that box. So now I have my 2 boxes in a barrel. That's 3 vents that I can take care of. There's some lights that I didn't turn on. And this one tells me I can't get to it. And I'm like, oh, you want to bet? I'm going to turn it on anyway. And for those of you that don't know this trick, you can watch closely. I move the barrel out of the way thinking, oh, I just need to, make some room so I can get there. And it says you still can't reach it. I said, really? Well then, we tell the wizard to use Firebolt. You can do it with Shadowheart too. And you go, boom. It's immune to fire damage, but it lights it. So, and then we decide to go into the elevator. So now you'll see me getting up to... I can't remember what the chapter mark was. I'm going to use the same names when I'm going to chapter mark this one too. This would be the... Yeah.
Private place for research and respite. But as this wizard's not home, I say we take a peek.
I think somewhere in here I accidentally talked to yeah, this is the mushroom level. So you didn't hear me talking, but I was talking all the way through this about the stuff that you can pick up here. How it's important to read various different books and things. I'm not sure what I'm hesitating on here. Oh, I think I was talking about my first run through. I picked up every vase because it was worth a gold piece. Picked up every vase and took it back and sold it to people. And I decided to turn on the lights. There's a supply pack there.
Damn, it's good to be alive.
They're heavy. Threadbare book we have to read. And it's very important that you read that out. How can I trust? How will I ever know? How can I show myself my darkest me? That's the one that gets you the ring to go down below. Then I accidentally talked to Gale right here.
Towers can be volatile places. They keep their secrets buried and their dangers
307.
surface. Ah, quite. A misadventure from my days as an apprentice at Blackstaff Academy. I was but a child, only a few months into my studies, but already I knew I was destined for greatness. No one believed me, of course. So I decided to prove it, to cast a spell with the Blackstaff itself. From one perspective, I succeeded. I opened a portal. However, instead of pointing it at the first-year dormitory, I found myself pulled into limbo, facing a very irritated death slad. Fortunately, the Blackstaff himself came to the rescue, hauling me back from the brink and straight into several months of writing lines, or rather, finessing my autograph. Now, much as I enjoy reminiscing about such tomfoolery, I believe we've more pressing matters at hand. Is there anything else?
I don't know how many people have gotten that conversation, but as far as I know, you only get it if you click on him in this tower. I've never been able to get it anywhere else. Maybe I can, but I don't know. Okay. Shoes. Yes. Okay. So that's what we're doing here. Shoes and a hat. Stuff like that. Turning on the lights, of course. I'm obsessed with turning on the candles, and now I can't find the candle. So I have to turn it so I can actually see the candle. And I barely can see the candle. There we go.
Better not be cursed. Something good here, I hope.
I kind of go through the middle first, checking out all the barrels and boxes. So, and then turn on the lights, of course. And I will be checking out all the doors at the end here. I check out the vases. I'm like, I can't remember if there was one here that had something. I don't think any of them did, but I know I checked everywhere. And then if you turn over here, you'll find the Tongue of Madness, which is what you need for Omeluum's tincture, which gets you experience points, which is why you want to do it. And I went, okay, I need to go up here. There's stuff up here somewhere.
Time to press ahead.
Again, I'm just kind of looting along because I know that there's a combination of rotten food and extraneous little bits of clothing and stuff that you can sell for a few gold pieces. So, and I am one to I don't know if I'm discussing it here, but I'll state it again. If it's a 1 weight to 1 gold or better, I always take it. And sometimes if stuff is valuable enough, like if it's worth 40 gold, but it weighs 50, I'll carry it too. So it changes a little bit from that standpoint. But in general, that's my rule. If it's 1 weight to 1 gold value, I always take it. Turn on the lights, and then there's the Times spores I need for Omeluum's tincture. There's several of them there. Burlap sack gives me some clothes. I don't think there was anything in the vases. Then I go out and check the doors. I couldn't remember if it's this level or the next level up. There's a very special chest that I need to go get. So I go check all the doors. Didn't get those candles. And realized that there was some Timus spores back there that I had to get rid of. Otherwise, they would make us go crazy. Did not want them getting any bigger than they already were. And I think it's like I'm checking now. It's like, did I check these? It's like, yeah, I think I did. This is a broken balcony. Nothing really on it. Big stone thing, but you can't make it go anywhere. It's like I needed to come out this door just to say I opened all the doors. And there, I found some candles I needed to light. So I went and did that. Then I go to open this door. just to make sure there's nothing out there. And then there was like some burlap sacks over here, I think. Did I see the burlap sacks? No, I didn't. Okay. I don't think there's anything in them anyway, but so then I decide, I think, to go upstairs. I notice that there's an arcane turret listed, but it's not really on this floor. It's above us. So I was looking around, I said, is there an arcane turret on this floor that I missed? But there's not. So we come around. Just want to make sure there was nothing in those bags. Then we come in here. We try to get everybody on the elevator. Everybody gets on the elevator and we go up a level. Now we're at the library level. Or no, this is the main level. So I go out, turn on the lights, as typical. Turn on the lights first. There was no lights in this one corner. Turn on the candelabras. You get a saving throw there, which means you found the door you're looking for. That autosave. And I check out a couple of these things. I do have to come back and check again because I missed a couple things. Broken machinery I know is a part for a spell, potion of something. And I was looking to see if there was a light in the corner, but there isn't. I come over here, I think, to light candles. I'm forgetting what I what I looted and what I didn't. Then I think I start opening doors, or do I read the books first? Yeah, I think I come over here to read this book. Okay, and then I read through this. This is the one I tell everybody, this is the one that you get into a fight with Bernard by using it. So, you don't want to recite that one to him until you've gotten everything else out of it. You should do the greeting, which you'll find up on the library level. The one that we found earlier will get us a ring. That'll take us to the basement. And then there's another one that gives us, there's another line that gives us a hug. And then that one there starts a fight. There's nothing in this one. This is me opening up the doors, trying to find the place I want to go. It's like this one just has a box and a barrel. So it doesn't really have a lot of stuff. But it does have some, like, stuff for potions and things. Which is pretty much randomly determined where they have all that stuff sit. And this one is locked, but we have a lever, so we go and pull the lever trunk, which opens the door. And then I decide I should probably just go grab the Sussur Flowers while I'm here at this door, rather than having to go run around later to grab them. So I just decided to have myself run out there and grab the flowers, and I light some candles along the way. So that's all I'm doing here. This is boring, but it's necessary because I'm going to need those when I go upstairs. And I'm discussing that I'm thinking that it would be sad to let Bernard sit here waiting for his master who's never going to come home. So that I'm going to shut him down, so to speak. I send those to camp. And we go up here. We get back to our people. Then I go look for the other door. That's where I checked the other traveler's chest and found some more parts and stuff. I was like, man, I missed some things here. So I made sure to check everything a second time around. Okay. Now I had one more door to go open. One door or two doors? And I checked this, and sure enough, that's where there's a chest out here. This is a very special chest. And so I make sure that I have Gale gets a guidance from Shadowheart.
What the next move is.
And he has my best Arcana
I applaud your taste.
type thing, so I send him out here.
Adventure awaits.
And he makes a successful thing. So he knows that it's magical. And then you open it up, and this shows you have a goblet, plate, cup, ladle. And then if you take all and you go look in your inventory.
It transformed. I wonder what else it can change.
And this is where I got intrigued. But this is the stuff you got. Was a couple of scrolls, a pair of boots, an ingot, and a hearthlight box. So I said, well, let's see what happens if we put something else in the chest. And it's like I just went put the shovel in there, changed it into a cup. But if you take it out, it's back to its original thing. So it's a way to disguise your belongings in a chest. And I thought that was really neat. I played around with a couple more things, I think, here. I got a drink, and then I went, okay, let's, can we take this back to camp, was my thought. Can't pick up, can't throw. But I could send it to camp. So I sent it to camp. So I have a chest like that to play with now. And I was going to play with it in camp a little bit. Maybe offline just to see what I can see. Okay, now we go.
Is that blood? No, never mind.
So now I go up to the library level. So here we go. As you can tell, I'm playing this, I'm doing a playback of this. Got us all. Our hit points and the things like my key points got back too. Okay. And then we ascend, and now we're on the library level. And I spend quite a bit of time going around grabbing everything that I can grab here. Check all the vases because I can't remember if there was something in these vases. I don't want to take any chances. There was nothing on the shelf, I don't think. There is a chest down below. Had an arrow and some gold. Then I had to come over here, and then before I went to the outer ring, I checked out the inner ring. Let's tell you, there's all sorts of books and things here.
Take that.
And before I took the Githyanki disc, I wanted to get the Cipher disc, which is over here. So I go pick that up. Turn on the lights. read the torn out page, because that's another one of the lines. That's the greeting line. I hold your hands for just a while. That's one that you need to know. If you read these all out like that, you know, you click on the read button, they'll show up as options for you when you're talking to Bernard. So that's why it's good to read everything, because then you don't actually have to remember it in most situations. They'll just show up.
Soldier?
And she's not allowed to take that painting, but she's allowed to take
Hello.
this one. So we have her take that one. Turn on the lights. And now I'm delaying getting the books. I'm going to do them last. Come over here to grab bits and pieces.
Wait. Why did that strange dog collar just vibrate?
Because it's to tell Myrna to come home. And we got an Arcana +1, Religion +1, which I think I gave to Gale. Because he's kind of the one that does that. Took the rest.
And?
And now I'm just checking out everything. And to make sure I don't miss anything before I go get the books. And I'm like, okay, I think I got everything. I do go for a walk around the edges. Because I couldn't remember if there was anything out here. I didn't see anything. And then
Here goes.
turn on that, and then we're gonna go get the books. Oh, nope, I guess I go turn on some more lights. Sorry, I thought I was gonna get the books at this point. I talk about I really would like to take like the folding screen. I'd like to be able to take those and put them in my camp, but I can't. So that was a little bit annoying. And then you come over here.
Shouldn't have wished to live in more interesting times.
And I'm gonna go grab all these bits and pieces, and then I'm going to read them, I think.
My pack. Such a strange disc. Are these Githyanki markings? Lae'zel might know.
We'll read them all in a minute. And we've read all those. Those are just money. And I don't think there's anything left. I checked the books piles.
Moving ahead.
I zoom in to pick up the little bits. But it won't let me pick up all those scroll pieces of paper. Very annoying.
What's inside?
And I checked these out. There's books and some scrolls. Books and some scrolls. And double check over here. It's like I think I've gotten everything I'm supposed to get over here. I check out these bookshelves. Yep. So those were all empty. There's nothing lying about for me to take. And then I think I get to the point where I'm about ready to shut it down. Before I do that, I have to go read all these things that I picked up. So first I read the ciphers. So I read this out. A useful discovery if one should encounter archaic writings. Then I go read the engraved Githyanki disc.
Disc is formed from slate and engraved with Githyanki writing. You examine them closely, but can't make much sense of them. Using the cipher you found, you might be able to reveal the disc's meaning.
And you use the cipher.
A pattern forms as you gaze at the disc, and from within that pattern, a story emerges. The Prince of the Comet, Part 1.
And then we get to listen to the
was that we
story.
were free from Gake shackles and turned our blades on each other. The heavens were shattered, and one great empire was divided in two. Gith travelled to the Hells to broker help for her people, her cause. Vlaakith would have you believe Mother Gith proclaimed her our queen. Lies. Gith made no such proclamation. Vlaakith seized the empire against the mother's wishes, but Gith had nurtured a son, Orpheus, Prince of the Comet, the true heir. He knew Vlaakith's treachery. Orpheus rallied Gith's honor guard and declared the throne for himself. The War of the Comet had begun. It's an intriguing tale, and a forbidden one, given how expertly it was encoded. Lae'zel will surely want to know of this.
Wonderful. Lae'zel's going to be mad. Then I read the handwritten letter talking about dearest Lenore. I'm not sure what to say this, but your last letter really worried me. Why in the hells would you tame a bullet? Just because you found it in your Nurse's grave doesn't mean that it's fine. Really worried about you, Lenore. The bullet is not a pet. Using it as a garden is one thing, but you sound quite taken by it. I know you don't want to come back before you finish your research, but if you find yourself alone, you can always do yourself. Warms my heart that you put out autumnal flowers on Myrna's grave. I remember she liked to roll around them even if she always sneezed after. And so on. Torn out paper was the silence stretches on. I'm all alone. Please can I hold your hands for a while? That was important. Rose to darkness. This was the this is the one that you is it the foe, that foul contemptuous heel, or art thou friend, a rescue from my lonely wake? Come out of love for me, not for the love of blood. How would I know? How would I know, sorry, that's been so long? And the trick in the game is to make sure that you read through all the pages. You don't actually have to read it, but make sure your character looks like he's read all the pages. Because then the game remembers most, if it's important, like in a dialogue choice or something, the game will remember that you read it, and you will get the dialogue choice. You might not remember where the heck it came from, but at least the dialogue choice will be there. Okay. And that was the weave thing. I just wanted to make sure I'd read them all. Everybody had a chance to pause the game. You know, you can pause my video and read these things. That's why those are there. That's why you'll see me when I open up a book, you'll see me like stop for a few seconds. I'm not really reading it, but it's more like it's there for you to be able to pause and read it. I'm going to be doing another playthrough. The Librarian is what it's called. And in that one, I am going to try to read all of the things out loud. I did try to read a lot of them when I was doing my very first playthrough. But I was more like a mundane. And this one says this. That's that was my tone of voice. So I'm going to try to be much more of a proactive reader. Maybe put some feeling behind what the words are saying and stuff like that. Light, never living thing. And I'm like, I was just trying to make sure that I'd read all the books. All right, and that's the one that gives me the ring. Okay, and it's like, I'm thinking I'm done here. We knew about the Great Forge. That's about the Lothsworn education. And I think I was done then. Not 100% sure. And I looked at that and I said, wait a minute, why do I have all these? Why do I have all these camp supplies weighing me down? And so I decided, she's always talking about being hungry. So I decided to give her most of my camp supplies. So she gets the fish, and she gets like all but one of the... I think I keep 2 things of alcohol with me. Right? And she gets the rest. And that made my weight a little bit better, and it barely made a dent on her. So I'm kind of trying to divide things up. I really probably should do a better job of that. And I'm just talking about, well, I think it's time for us to go see Bernard. Then I thought about where am I going to end us. I didn't want to really go up when I looked at my time. I was like, I need to stop. Because I was pushing up towards 4 hours here. Right? Yeah, I was at 3:35. Yeah, you can see here I still have 19 minutes left. So I'm talking about going up there and what I'm going to try and do. Basically, I was talking about I want to go, before I go up there, I'm going to go have, Nórë Huinë is going to go grab all the Sussur Flowers back from camp. And then we're going to go upstairs. We have to do our greeting to Bernard. And then when we're done with that, he's going to go around and set down a Sussur Flower by each one of the animated armors. And then he's going to come back and talk to Bernard to get the ring and do those kinds of things. And then he's going to finish with the one that should make Bernard want to attack us. And hopefully the other things won't be able to do it. And then I saw an unlit candelabra, and I had to light the lamp. I have to turn on the lights. Then I thought about something kind of funny looking. I was trying to make sure I had all the lights on that I could turn on, which I did. And then I said, can I do this? So I went and I think I separated this out, don't I? Yeah, I think I separated us out. This is me just kind of summarizing things and letting you all know that, I'm trying to reach 500 before the end of the summer subscriptions. So if you could subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. If you do subscribe, you can hit the notify bell. You'll be notified when I'm uploading videos, when I'm scheduling streams, and when I'm posting polls, which is how this playthrough came to be. Is on a poll, it was play a monk, but the Drunken Master subclass. So that's how I ended up playing this one. I came up with a backstory for him to give me a plausible reason to play a Drunken Master subclass, which was the whole half Drow, half elf Drow half is his elf half. I don't know. How do you say that? Is it half elf Drow or is it half Drow? I don't know. Anyway, he's a half elf that was a street urchin, so he grew up on the streets of Baldur's Gate. Fell on hard times when his mates all, when the kids all grew up a little bit and spread out into other things, whether criminal or mercenary or whatever. And he was at loose ends, so he went to a monastery just looking for a bed and some food, for pushing a broom is the way he thought of it. They decided to take him in. They named him Nórë Huinë, basically renamed him. He doesn't remember what his original name was. And then taught him the ways of being a monk, and he gravitated towards the master that did the Drunken Master style. And so that's how he came to be. And then when he was leaving the monastery, he got snatched up by these people. So that's what he had to do. And that's just me talking about where I'm going to go, how I'm going to deal with Bernard and the things. My backstory on that is that Bernard is an automation that's waiting for something that's never going to happen, which is Lenore coming home. So I'm going to basically turn him off. Unfortunately, that means I have to fight him, but I don't think he should be sitting there waiting for something that's never going to happen. and possibly be a danger to other people that are wandering around in the Underdark. So that's my justification for doing that. Not a real good one, but that's my justification. So we will be taking out Bernard and the other things. I am going to go run back by the Spectre because I think I missed a couple of things there. I know I missed at least one ingredient and some other things. And then once we get done with doing the tower, we're basically going to go to Grimforge. I might need to do another long rest to get everybody's spells back up to full, but other than that, we're going to go do that. And I explain how to deal with Bernard here. And then I'm going to go into my my spiel here. Yeah, I think I'm still talking about how to do things with the Arcane Tower. The whole Sussur Flower thing, it struck me as once I figured out how to do it, and then you go and you do a head count. It's like there's 5 Sussur Flower blooms. One turns on this thing and turns off all the turrets and gives you all the lights. Okay, and then there's one that then you have 4 left. And when you get up to the top, you'll see that there's 4 animated armors. So you can drop each one of those down and it turns off the animated armors. And as long as you're in the Underdark, you can actually like throw one in a pouch. You can throw it at a magic user and then they have to get out of its circle. So it's like throw it by a magic user and then send somebody like Karlach to stand next to the magic user. And when he moves, they get to bing him up. And then I'm talking about, I'll go back up here to finish off after I get things done. I have to go back up and talk to Blurg. And then, I was going to jump up to the village to make the Sussur Bark weapon. And then I was going to jump back to like the Underdark beach. And I think once I get done with the tower, the first thing I'm going to do is go back by the Spectator because I didn't realize I missed things until I just saw this here. I saw that I missed like a couple things over by where the Spectator was. So I need to go get those. All right. And then I think I'm now getting to the point of, I was talking about that I don't really like the way that they kind of keep stuff blacked out and I can't get to anything that lets me see what's over there. So it's like it strikes me as this was supposed to actually be even bigger than what it is. Because they obviously drew stuff off that way. But then when they put the shroud up, you can't tell what's over there. So I'm not really sure about that. Anyway, yeah, I think I'm talking more about stuff that I'm streaming. So I will talk about that now. Wednesdays I stream Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. That was a fan pick by one of those polls. 100% said you're going to play that. I'm stumbling through it. About 3/4 of the way through, I think. Fridays we were trying to do computer role-playing games as multiplayer versions of them. We started off trying to do Baldur's Gate 3. Ace, my youngest adult child, and our schedules just don't mesh anymore. What times that they have free to do it, it's not a good time around here to be doing streaming because everybody's awake and there's a whole lot of noise. And I don't have like a separate office or anything that we can stream in to be quiet. So that's kind of been put on hold until I can find someone else to maybe join me on Friday mornings to do that. So in replacement, we have something called Gale Goes Forth. It is a modded playthrough. I am playing it with Gale as the protagonist. So an origin run through. Chose to go ahead and romance Karlach, kind of like I did. I did that here when I tried to do Lae'zel. I wasn't allowed, but I think I'm still allowed to maybe at least try to go for Lae'zel. I just have to get her approval up, which means I need to grab her and take her on more adventures. Which I'm thinking of taking her to the to Grimforge rather than Karlach to give her some time running around, and she can jump just as far as Karlach, kind of thing. And so we can do things over there. And then yeah, and then there's this one. And I'm also going to be doing the librarians. Probably going to be a stream that was based on a poll. I don't know when I'll be starting that. Probably on a Sunday. And then I'm talking about armor and the fact that in the Gale one I cheated and put in another mod that gave me extra mithril when I defeated the Guardian of the Forge. He dropped a whole bunch of extra mithril, so I made like one of every item, and then made extras of the pieces that I really liked. And that was me talking about that. And here I think I'm going to do something kind of amusing. I can't remember if I do that now or am I still talking about. I think I'm still talking about subscriptions and things like that. Hitting the like button on the video and on the stream, leaving a comment. Even if it's like, dude, your sound went out. It's like, yeah, I know. I just did another little short video of where the sound went out and going forward to do my my voiceover for it. I just didn't see it. My screens are not like side by side. They're like catacorner. You can see it down here, where the screen's kind of over here, and I don't look over there enough to see that my mic isn't working. I'm doing it now when I'm not on camera, but I need to get more in the habit of doing that, or somehow figuring out a way to put those things on the same screen or something. I don't know. I'm very space limited on how I can set up my screens. Because if I had my druthers, I'd have 3 screens. I'd have one slightly to my left, one slightly to my right, and the main one in the middle. And then I could just glance left and right, and I wouldn't have to turn my head completely. And I could have streaming over here, and I could have other applications over here, and be able to look things up and do things. And unfortunately, it just doesn't work out that way. So I'm very space limited on what I can do. So I'm just kind of struggling to get these things done. But anyway, yeah, if you can subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. I'd love to hit 500, at least by the end of the year, if not by the end of the summer. I'm going to try and do a little better job of getting out some more episodic content. I'm going to be doing some Xenonauts 2. Milestone 5 has been fairly well stabilized, so I'm going to try and do a playthrough of that. I've done one of 2 and 4. I'd like to do 5 because they changed a whole bunch of stuff, and I really want to show off some of the stuff they've done. But I was kind of waiting till I got some annoying glitches ironed out, and I think most of them are out now. So I'm going to be playing through that once, and then I'm going to do some recording of the various things. I'm probably not going to stream that one. That's a battle game, so it's much easier for you to find a breakpoint to, do a battle or two, and then break off, and then come back the next day and do the next series of adventures or missions or whatever. So I'll be doing that, and I'm also doing Unconditional Surrender Europe, which is a board game that was adapted for. I usually use the Vassal module, which is something I maintain, which is basically the board game. You take all the components, turn them into digital components, and then you just play the game. You don't enforce any rules or anything. Just maybe some convenience things. But basically, it's the game on a computer. It's the board game as if you were playing it on a computer board. There's also a board game arena version of it that does enforce all the rules, and it's become very popular for those of us that play the game. We actually have leagues and things in there that we go through, and I strongly suggest Board Game Arena for anybody that's interested in playing one of their favorite board games but can't find anybody to play it. You can play with people all over the world if it's on the Board Game Arena, and there's several hundred games on there. So I'm pretty sure your average game should be on there. All right, and then here's me talking a little bit more about my people and whether I'm going to have to take a long rest after Bernard or what. And I think I sit myself down on the bench here shortly. I'm trying to figure out what I'm talking about. I'm talking about my Illithid powers. And the fact that I've used several of them. And the ones that I took, obviously, is I like these two and these two and this one because they all fit the monk kind of thing. Debilitating my enemies, getting a possible crit, favorable beginnings when you're trying to do something, and then the tunneling thing lets me, if I use that, I can like just run through people and get to my enemy. So I like all of those things to get me where I need to go. So that was me just kind of quick overview of my illithid powers that I'm using. Checking on how far we have to go. We're like 2,200 to go, or close to it. 21 for most people. I needed the most because I have not gotten the inspiration here in the Underdark because it's kind of hard to come by for a street urchin. So, and then I think here I'm going to sit us down. Yeah, I'm talking about my yeah. This is where I'm doing the Goodnight Irene type thing, where I'm talking about the subscriptions and things like that. And then I think I'm going to put myself sitting down here in a second. Yeah, I'm asking you to subscribe and hit the like button. Leave messages. So that gets it in front of the algorithm on YouTube. So on that one and on this one, either one would be nice, just to get more views. Not more views, but more recommendations from YouTube. So more likes and comments you have, they're like, oh, people are actually watching this. Maybe other people want to watch it, and then they give you a shot at other people taking a chance on looking at things. So that's kind of why we always have to ask you to like and comment. Obviously, subscriptions help a lot because they motivate us to keep going. And then I always suggest to people, if you hit the subscription, you want to hit the notify bell so you'll get a little blurb in your feed saying, "Hey, I created something," and you can say, "Nah, I ain't interested in that particular game or whatever, or that particular playthrough of a game," and you can just ignore it. But then it might be one that you're like, "Oh, wait, this is something I want to see." So you can try that too. And I think I go and put myself sitting down here in a second. I'm just waiting for myself to do it. Because I was gonna end it here, and I was like, do I want to have him ending standing up, or do I want to do something else? I don't know what I'm talking about here. So I don't know what I'm exactly talking about there. I think I'm talking about the... I don't know. I'm talking about something and I can't read my lips. I don't know what I'm talking about. Here I am. I'm going to sit myself down. Yeah. I wanted to see if I could do this. Like, I can sit there. I can have her sit over there. And I was like, oh, I can do this. I'm going to sit myself between the girls.
This way.
I'm sitting on the bench with the two girls. And then I had Gale go take a nap.
My magic. Right away.
So Gale's taking a nap, and I'm sitting talking with the girls. That's me just joking about me sitting there with the girls while Gale takes a nap and signing off. So there you have it. There's a quick voiceover of all the stuff that you missed when I was talking. I tried to remember everything I said. I'm sure I missed some quips and some jokes that I was making at the time. But at least you have an idea of what I was doing and what I was thinking as I was going along. Hopefully you'll be able to... I'm going to put a link to this video into the stream to say if you want to hear me talk about what's going on, you can leave the stream here and go to this one, and then you should, you'll hear me talking about what's going on as we're adventuring forth. Okay? All right, so that's going to be that. And if you like this one, hit this like button and, leave comments and then subscribe and hit the notify bell. I'm not going to go through much more than that. I've kind of covered it as I was going along. And I'm Dren608. Until we meet again, stay safe and bye-bye.